Hello everyone and welcome to my fourth and so far final draft of Cube of this iteration. Murders at Carlo Manor will release very soon after this video gets published, and I will hope to to get into those drafts so that I can record them as fast as possible, as quickly as possible, and put those on my channel, because of course the next weeks will be only MKM drafts. Alright, so how to start with this? I had a black red, green white and a black green deck in Cube. In among those ones I recorded. So can I get something blue now? What is the first pick? Watley, Crucius. Decent cards. Should I try mono red? Take the rabbit battery and hope that the war boss or the Hellraider will come back. Am I gonna take a blue card? I'm not even sure which one of these is the most fun one. Channeler is like okay. Fine, let's take something blue here. I'm gonna take the Metamorph. I'm not even sure if this is really good, but I want to try a blue deck now that my 3 previous recorded drafts did not include blue. So this is a clone that costs 4 mana and it's clone for any permanent, even lands, but it retains its artifact type. And if you are not the starting player, this will cost 3 mana, which is quite nice, one of those alchemy mechanics. Alright, so how hard do I want to force that? I, by the way, like Halana and Alina a lot. I think it's one of the better 4-drops, but it is a red-green card. Utopia Sprawl is incredibly powerful too, just because it's such a nice enabler of strong things early in the game, if you happen to draw this early. But I could take a Reflector of Mage now that I took the Surgical Metamorph. That's definitely a fine card to consider. Maybe this could come back to me. Yeah, blue-green. I don't know if I want to play a blue-green deck. I'll take the Mage. This is actually quite nice. So let's see if the blue-white line will be open. Now there is a invasion of New Phyrexia, which is not a bad card at all. If I can prolong the game a little bit so that I can play this with X equals 3 or 4 at least. I think I might just take it. Now there are pretty good cards here. Thraben Inspector and the Soon's Intervention. I don't think I like the Archangel Elspeth as much as I do like the Invasion here. Since I took the Reflector Mage and I have this blue card already here, I think I'm taking the Invasion. I do like the Sentinel of the Nameless City too. I think it's really decent in Cube as well. There's a Baral here, but that's a battle. That's not something that gets discounted by Baral. Not that I can pick both of them, but I was just figuring out if this comes back. But yeah, let's take the Invasion of New Phyrexia. Let's try to have a blue-white deck, just to have something quite different from what I had in my earlier 3 videos. And now there's a Sunfall. I mean, I'm obviously taking that. That's a pretty good reset button. And it's a best of 3 draft, so if my opponent is playing some hardcore control deck, I can just sideboard out Sunfall if I feel like this is not going to be very valuable. But it's really good against, most other decks. So this could be like the classic blue-white control kind of a deck. Okay, what do we have here? Not much from blue, but I do think the Warzone Duplicator can be quite nice. A little bit of tempo and gets you the card as well. You can play this as a 4-drop or a 6-drop if you are playing blue, but there's also Giver of Runes, there's a Touch of the Spirit Realm, there's a Retrofitter Foundry, which I think is quite nice, and Blade Splicer is just a 4 power and toughness with 3 mana split between 2 creatures. That's quite nice. Wingmate Rock is in an aggressive blue deck quite nice. I'm not sure if I'm gonna be one of those. The Foundry is always gonna be a nice one early in the game. I think I will take the Foundry. It's something to do with your mana if nothing else is available. And here we have a sleight of hand, yes, but I'm taking the 4-second crossroads. If you have watched my earlier drafts, you know how I value every kind of land that can produce both my colors. And the short version of the story is that in Cube you will end up with a great number of good cards, so you can definitely afford to not waste but use picks on lands just to make your deck better by improving its mana base. So I'll take the crossroads over the sleight of hand, not a difficult choice at all. There are some pretty decent green and black cards in here. I like the Inferno Titan quite a bit too, but yep, let's stick to this route. In Cube you can a little bit force your colors because there are so many good cards, but you would still rather, find the open colors. For example, here I can see that green has still many good options here, but so do blue and white. I don't think I'm taking the Sun Titan, which I actually do like quite a bit, but I think my deck is very interested in the restoration of Eigenjo. Just get the land and then a 3-4, with slight delay. And of course, you can do something with the chapter 2 as well. Agent of Raffine is not a joke either, by the way. Yeah, it's not a joke either. Ah, done. Should I take it? I mean, 2 mana is quite a lot to do that thing. I think I'll just take the 3 mana fetch plains and basic plains, and that's it. Alright. Hedron Archive. There's a Trumpeting Carnosaur. I think this is... it's a quite good card actually. Oh man. Am I gonna change my colors somehow? No, I'm gonna stick to the blue-white plan now. I could take this and just start picking some red cards, ignoring either of these early colors, or just be like straight up 3 colors and get the lands for that, but I don't think I need to be 3 colors in this cube. There's no reason to stretch your mana base. I'll take the archive and see what comes up. Alright, a lot of these red and green options still here, so I could have taken the Rabbit Battery and still gotten either the Hellrider or the Warboss even. So red was quite open. Alright, I'm gonna take the Spell Thief. So this conjures a duplicate of target spell into my hand. Yeah. That's a 2-for-1. Alright, I hope to get the Sphinx's Revelation. I'm also annoyed that Halana and Alina is still here. I could have been a pretty good red-green deck, I think. Consider would be an option. Cultivator's Caravan would be an option too, but I already took the Archive, and this is a really nice late-game effect, especially with the Archive. Alright, wow. I have to take the Soon's Intervention because it's so good, but I wouldn't mind having some early plays with the Thraben Inspector, but I'm not gonna pass this thing up, and let's see how this goes. I'll take the Shash. I think I'm just putting it to the sideboard right away. It's not a main deck card for this deck. Blade Splicer I'm happy to get back. Very happy. The Rock is good, but not maybe in this deck. I don't plan to attack early. Wow, Inferno Titan there. Well, I got the Sun Titan too. Now that's a lot of expensive cards, of course. I need to find some early plays and maybe some mana rocks. I'm not sure how many of these expensive cards I'm going to end up playing, but I don't have to make that decision quite yet. Okay, there's a Time Warp, which isn't actually that great if you are not applying pressure on the battlefield. It's not useless either, but I might even prefer something like Elspeth Conquest Death if I want to take a 5 mana card. This is the Legion's Landing is not a card I'm gonna be able to flip that easily, so I don't think that's it. History of Benalia is nice, especially with the new Phyrexia thing, but I'm not sure if it's what I want to do. I have a bunch of 3s here already. I'm actually thinking about the Esper Sentinel or just taking the Elspeth Conqueror's Death, but I could also take the Bankbuster. I think this is just a straight up decent 2-drop. I'm gonna take it. I mean, it's not gonna affect the board, but it's something you can play on turn 2, and then the fact it's a vehicle can matter a little bit, but I definitely want some early drops, which I don't seem to be getting here. Vendilion Click is good. I'm not taking the Lera here. I also don't have any blue-white lands, so I could take the Crossroads. I think I'm gonna stick to the blue still, even though it seems like blue isn't quite that open. I mean, based on pack 1. Yeah, I think the Wendling Click is really nice, but I have these 3 mana plays already. I don't need a 3 drop. I need something to play on turn 2. And now I'm just gonna take the land because I have no lands other than the crossroads. So let's take the other crossroads and focus on getting good 2 drops. I said good. Oh, Selfless Spirit is... No, it's a 2 drop, but not sure if that's so amazing. Target spell or non-land permanent. That is a tempo play of sorts. Maybe I can bargain it at some point, but it's not for that likely. Repeal isn't that great. Hangerback Walker. Yes, it is a 2 drop, but... Okay, I'm taking the Throne Guard here. I don't think I want to take those early drops. Hey, where are my blue and white lands? Okay. I mean, there's Dig Through Time in here, which is definitely a nice card. But I also have a Sphinx's Revelation, Invasion of New Phyrex. I have a Soon's Intervention, all this stuff. I'm gonna take that Censor because he's actually a spell you can play on turn 2 or turn 3. Maybe get to counter something, and then you can cycle it if it seems that there's not gonna be a target for it. Alright, Seal Away, Cyclonic Rift. This can be pretty massive at 7 mana, but at 2 mana I don't like the bounce effect. I think I will take the Seal Away just to have some ways to deal with things. I wouldn't mind the Cave of the Frost Dragon, because of course it's just a kind of an upgrade to your deck, because it doesn't take a spell slot but is usually better than a Blaze. Except for in the cases when you need it to enter untapped and it doesn't, but... Alright, I'll take the Seal Away because I still want to have a 2 mana play here. Okay, I don't seem to be getting the blue and white lands. Well, I'm happy I took both the crossroads I was past. Alright, so here I could take the Iron Crack and I can take the Kellan. Now, I'm not gonna have that many creatures for it. And I do want to ramp into bigger things. I don't know how many legendary creatures I have. Probably nothing at all. But it's not even gonna matter. I'm gonna take the 2 mana rock here. That's better than the alternative there. Okay, still not a land that could produce blue and white. There's a Narset. Hall of Storm Giants. Multiple choice is no joke. It's gonna be fine. Of course you want to have x equals 4. But it has nice options for when you don't have the 5 mana for it. But I'm thinking about the Hall of Storm Giants too here. Yeah, I think I have enough, those kind of dirty spells. Oh, well. What a gift. It's a shame that there's also Guardian Idol here, which I would be happy to have. Gigantic Seed of the Empire. But of course the Wandering Emperor is one of the absolutely better cards in the cube, so it's being a pick 8 is really good news for me.
I'm home.
And alright, we get these things. History of Penalia still here, Esper Sentinel. I don't think I need the History of Penalia for any purpose, so I'll take the Sentinel. And Wendling Click Opt and the Metamorph. Well, I have the other Metamorph. I don't think I need 2 of those. I take the Click because it can actually be quite good at beating Planeswalkers. Repeal and the Walker. I do like to repeal, but let's take the Walker now. And that has no card for me. Guess I'll take the land. None of this matters. Okay, I got the multiple choice here still, so it seems like my colors are open because no one is taking them. But someone is taking their lands that can produce blue and white. Sorry, blue and... Yeah, exactly, blue and white. It's a shame. Now, this pack has good options. And it's gonna be between the Malcolm and the Counterspell. I kind of want to have the Malcolm because it's a proactive play on turn 2. I can make. It is also legendary if I want to have this, turned into an equipment at some point. That's really not an important thing. But the counterspell is really good. It's just the same I have so few blue and white sources because the double blue might be a little bit of a problem. I'm taking the looting thing. I actually think it's gonna be what I want here instead. And here I have a torrential Gearhawk, but it only works with instants, right? How many of those do I have? 3. Not great. And I don't care about the Ugin that much. I have expensive things here. So I think I'll just take the Captain Eberhard here. It's not amazing, but sometimes you get a discount from a top decked card and you're happy with that, and sometimes this does something to the opponent's draws. They can't cast it. But it's also 1 mana, 2 mana, 1/2 double striker. Enough early presence to keep going. Alright, now there's only one pick for me here. I don't care what there is other cards. There are actually some nice cards here, like the Tidebinder, I think C-double, but Glacial Fortress is the only option for me here. I need to. There's also Lutri, by the way, which in a cube is an automatic companion, because you will not have duplicate cards in your deck. So you can just companion this, and it's totally free when you are playing either blue or red. But I think the Glacial Fortress is still gonna be the card. I just think I need the lands here. Yep. Okay, the Furry Hero of Dominaria. Now that's a card you're very happy to have. Look at this pack, by the way. There's also, well, I don't think the Great Shark is that great, but there's a Thalia, there's an Archangel Avacyn, the Eternal Wanderer. Of course, I'll take the Hero of Dominaria, which is one of the best cards in the cube. There's also a Chandra in this pack, which is another amazing Planeswalker. But yeah, I'm happy to have the Teferi, and this is... I like my chances more now that I have this very, very strong 5-drop in here. Okay, there's a Wrath of God, and there's the Horned Lochwhale. I'm not considering these other options. How about the Bouncer? This is like a... this is tempo play. I don't think I need that kind of a play. Nope. I think I will take the Wrath of God. I have some early creatures myself, but I think this is still the card I'm happiest to have as an option to play. And more Wrath effects. I'm not gonna play Lurus as a companion. I don't think it's that good as a regular card in this deck. I don't have many things to cast from the graveyard. But here, Settle the Wreckage. Or I could just take the Emery's Call also, because I think I have enough playables. And playables that I'm happy to have in the deck. So I'll take the kind of an extra land here. I know the Settle is fine, but I have 2 Wrath effects already. Sunfall and Wrath of God. That's gonna be enough for me. And no proper lands. Rona or Kefnet. Well, I'm not gonna have that many instant or sorceries. So I take the looting 2-drop, which can also, transform into a pretty big thing. Yep. Okay. Rest Angel is good, but so is the Intervention. Which one do I prefer to have? How many good things? I have no angels, so I can... it's actually tough, but I'll take the Resto Angel. I think it's a little bit better, after all. Alright, here we have a Chardacost, we have a Chrome Host, Seedshark. I have a lot of non-creatures, so I think the Seedshark will be the thing to play here. Okay, here I can take the Ugin. I'm not gonna main deck it probably, but that's that. Okay, I got the Rogrin Triumph. So it seems like I got my colors open, even the lands were open, but I just I mean, maybe the lands just didn't get opened. Yeah, these are good cards, but I have so many spells that I'll just take the blue-white producing land. It's pretty easy choice in fact. Alright. Even the Mutavault is good in some matchups, against control decks, but Thalia, not great for me, it poses me, but I'll take the Eternal Wanderer. That can also be quite nice. Okay, Expertise versus Frost Titan. I think I don't need another 6-drop. I'll take this, but I don't know which of all these cards I'm gonna play. There's a lot of cuts to be made. Yeah, so as you can see, 33 cards. That's the reason I would have picked those even more of these lands if I just saw them. Because I don't need all these spells. I don't need all these spells. The first things to cut is the Sun Titan and maybe the Ugin. I can ramp into Ugin, but this is... Yeah, look at these expensive things. I'd rather play the Invasion and the Revelation than the Ugin, so I'm gonna cut the Ugin here. Then am I gonna main deck both Wrath effects? Am I gonna main deck Champion of Witch? I don't think I need that particular card. Multiple choice. Not gonna main deck that. I'm not gonna main deck the Esper Sentinel. It's quite, useless against creature heavy decks. The Foundry I liked, but okay, this can make a Thopter, right? Let's see. Is there any other synergy between those? I don't have any Thopters, but this can make them, right? And this can turn Thopters into 4/4 ground guys, but I don't think that's necessarily enough of a synergy. And I didn't have time to look all the synergy with the Resto Angel, but I think I have quite a bit of that. Blade difficult to speak apparently. Blade Splicer, the Spell Thief, the Reflector Mage and the Vendilion Click, the Throne Guard. None of them are angels because this only works with non-angels, but I have no angels apart from the Resto Angel itself. So I do have some focus with creatures, but I also have so many of these expensive things that I think I like the Wrath effects. Maybe I can choose to not play both in the main deck, because there are other control decks, and the Wrath of God doesn't matter that much. I think I will leave the Sunfall, because this also, gives me at least an incubator. So if I cut the Wrath from the main deck, I guess the Metamorph is also the kind of card that's... It was my first pick in the draft, but I didn't, of course, know what my deck was gonna look like. But maybe in this deck, I don't care about it too much. It's also a card you can just sideboard in when you are presumably on the draw, aka you won the previous game and the opponent is most likely gonna choose to be on the play. So you can just have this as a 3-drop guaranteed. And now the Foundry, do I have time to kind of mess around with it? I already have the Bank Buster. Okay, I can cut the Foundry here. Now, I still need some cuts. And this will definitely be a 17 land deck, even though I have these Mana Rocks. Well, actually that's only one Mana Rock. Okay, the Hedron Archivist too, but of course this can turn into further cards. So this is now 14 non-creatures. They will cost a bunch of mana, so this will get me some nice incubators. Maybe the Hangback Walker is not what I need here, in the main deck at least. Seal Away, I could actually see not playing this in the main deck. Yeah, I think this is it. So my turn 2 plays are not many. I can try to censor something. I can have 1, 2, 3 creatures, or I can have the Mana Rock or the Bank Buster. But I would have taken some cheap things. I think, yeah, I passed, for example, a counter spell, but I took a land over it, didn't I? I'm pretty sure I did. The Glacial Fortress. And I'm happy I did, because I ended up with so few. lands that can produce blue and white. Now these expels can be cast for cheaper. This can draw one card at 4 mana. This can give you one token at 3 mana, and of course you can just play this as a 2 mana spell and attack into it if you have the creatures to get the Teferi, but you prefer to get some tokens from the front side. So my Wrath effects are the Eternal Wanderer. This is of course not exactly a Wrath effect because they will keep one, but so do I. And I get to choose. And then there's an actual Sunfall, and then I can put a Wrath of God in the deck. Yeah, I think this is the kind of a main deck against a random deck. Control aggressive decks, mid-range. I like this this setup for that. And then I have sideboarding decisions based on the matchup, like I always say. So let's put the lands, and one of them is the Emerial's Call. It's a kind of a spell, but it's a land too. This, and this, and this, and that's like 1, 2, 3, 4 lands that can give me either blue or white. Well, that will have to do. Mana is, well, color-wise, it's very even. I have a double caster. Well, this is kind of a it's a triple caster, yes, but this is gonna most often be played as a land, I'm sure. Double blue here, double white here, so it's gonna be pretty even. This is now 1, 2, 3, 4. That can be either, and then 1 and 1 for the other color. So I'm gonna add like a 5 of both, and then decide. No, I put 6. 4, 5, 10 white right now, and this 1, 2, 3, 4, and 10 blue. So I will have 11 of the other. Well, don't really know. I guess for the early game I might need to double blue faster to play the Rona, which can loot me. I mean, not double blue, but blue mana in general. So I can, if I have like a hand with only blue mana, blue producing lands, and then the Rona, that can help me get the white. And this double blue 3-drop can be important. And by the way, if I have one plains, the Restoration of Igenjo gets me another plains. So yeah, I will have an extra blue mana source. And I don't know how this deck will work. I think it might depend on matchups. If I'm on the on the draw in game 1 in most matches against aggressive decks, I could see being in trouble. But then again, if they are weak to Wrath and Sunfall, that might be a good matchup for me. I didn't get any counter spells really other than the Sensor, because I chose not to take the actual counter spell because I wanted to take the land over it. So I don't know about the control matchup, but I think I have these flash creatures that can actually apply some pressure against them. Yeah, we'll see how it goes, but this is the main deck. Yeah, I'll be on the play, so I'm happy with this hand. I can play either of these things on turn 3. Okay, they go for a mulligan. And they did keep 6 cards. So if I don't have a non-creature for turn 4, I think I'm tempted to play the click also to get the information. Well, now I do have a non-creature for turn 4, so I'm gonna do this and hope that it's gonna survive. I'm gonna get a incubate 4 here. Okay, no instant speed removal. Let's see if I can untap with this thing. Okay, 3 colors. I wouldn't mind having an incubate 4 because I can also immediately, use this archive to, turn it into an actual creature. That would be fantastic. So we'll see. That will actually be quite powerful if I can do that. get basically a free 4/4 out of my Hadron Archive. And put any number of cards from your hand on the bottom of your library, then draw that many +1. Be my guest. So they just, you know, change their hand, which is fine. It is great for me actually, because now I get to do this thing, and it doesn't matter really what they're gonna do on their next turn. I have a good continuation. Even the expertise here, if I... This is actually a card you could cut from the main deck, but this is so powerful when you get a lot of tempo from it. It can be a difference between winning and losing. Okay, so I can just play the Eternal Wanderer here, get me... Okay, I can exile up to one target artifact or creature. That's not gonna do much. I think they would have killed the shark if it was around. So I'm gonna do this. Of course I'm gonna regret if they're gonna somehow kill the shark now mid-combat, but I'm gonna get the 6/6 incubator here. And this, of course, pretty... I mean, even if they have Wrath this board, if they for some reason have a Wrath effect, they have the colors for that, of course, but I have this 6/6 incubator still coming and the Eternal Wanderer, so I don't think they are very good. Their previous turn was very unimpressive though. I mean, the entire... they did mulligan to 6, so they were maybe forced to keep a bad one. Now they have to choose between the shark and the... Yeah, and they had to exile their own you know, thing too, because it had an odd cost. Alright, do I have a victory here? Yes, I do. So let's go for that. This double striker means it's actually 2 damage more than I needed. Alright. So, the view battlefield still doesn't work because it got bugged in a recent patch. But of course I saw what they played and what is my answer in terms of sideboarding. I'm not that sure the Sunfall is what I need here. I don't think the Grim Lava Monster is an indication of them having like a very aggressive deck based on them not really having much going on. So I could see not playing Sunfall. I don't like the Valkyrie that much either because the Extinction event actually exiles this, which means I don't get the Thopters. I don't know if I care about the Seal Away. I could try to get some cards with the Esper Sentinel, perhaps. I think I will cut the Sunfall for now. I have, of course, the opportunity now to play the Metamorph, my first pick in the draft, which I didn't pick because I think it's a good card, or a particularly good card, but I picked it because I wanted to kind of go to blue and play a card I haven't actually played. I don't think ever. I did play some. I do play those alchemy drafts, but I don't recall having this. Okay, let's just for fun try the Metamorph. Copy something for 3, assuming they will choose to be on the play. Alright. I'm gonna keep this because I can maybe use the Malcolm to loot into white mana, and I have the Bankbuster regardless. But of course, this is what you get when you don't find many. Oh boy. I think I'm still gonna go with the Malcolm. When you don't find many dual lands in the draft for you. Alright, they have no third land, so let's see if they have a removal on this one. This might be rather easy if they do not. Okay, so don't need the Eberhard here. I will be playing them. This enters tapped, sadly, because I could otherwise play the Ironcrag and the Bankbuster. Both of them. But let's do it like this. I want the mana more than the other stuff. Of course, if they can't have any plays, they will lose very quickly. So, but now they found even not only the third land, but also the third color. But I mean, if I get an untapped land, the ferry into an empty board can be quite nasty. Total Disciple. Okay, well, they get lightning bolts to their deck, sure. And now, well, pretty obviously I will go for the Malcolm attack first, loot, probably the Rona away, or... Yeah, I don't need the Rona, it doesn't really do much here. Because what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna just play the Hedron Archive and the Bankbuster. And take the damage for now. And then of course at some point I maybe find the white producing mana. Okay, professional Facebreaker, so they're gonna get also more lightning bolts to top deck, but also a treasure token now. But now with the archive and the Bankbuster I can, you know, keep drawing more cards. But I got my white sauce, so let's see how I'm gonna do this. How am I going to do this? This only copy. Consider a duplicate of target spell into your hand. Yep, so I can copy my own and their spells. I think the first thing before I do anything is still going to be looting, because I don't think I'm gonna necessarily play Teferi on this turn. I can have mana for the click though, if I draw a card with Teferi. But still, I'm going to see what I... Because of course the Malcolm is very close to, you know, actually getting me free cards. Because at 4 counters it's pretty darn good. But it's not this turn yet, it needs to survive until the next turn. I can just return their Facebreaker if I want to. But yeah, I think I want to loot before I decide what else to do. I could have played Teferi and drawn a card and have more information for the looting in that case, but then I would be locked into the decision of playing Teferi this turn. I'm not sure I want to do that. They do have a 1 treasure here, so they might have like a lightning bolt or something. But yeah, let's see now. What do we get in here? Okay, well the Soon's intervention is of course very good, but it needs double white. I think I need to play the Reflector Mage on this turn. I would have to take 3 damage from this though. It's not so great. That is not so great. Maybe I was supposed to draw with the Bankbuster first. The reason I didn't draw is that I can actually play a flash 3 power creature and crew it. Block the 3/3 for free, I mean, assuming they don't have anything. So that is my plan, kind of. And this gives me information about their hand, so I'm gonna actually keep the bounce thing. I'm gonna not have the Spell Thief, and I am going to now... Yes, I'm gonna play this tapped so that I don't have to pay 3 life. And my idea is that I will play the Vendilion Click, and I won't be making this into a equipment. I want to keep the mana production up. I'm not gonna have 3 mana to equip anytime soon. So the idea is that the Vendilion Click, I get to see their hand. I don't have to make them lose a card if I see like what I see there. But more importantly, the click can crew the Bankbuster, and then I can block with the Bankbuster and still draw a card, because I will have 3 colorless mana for the card drawing up. They have a Judith. Well, that's annoying because I will lose my click, but I also... Actually, I won't be losing my click because I'm not gonna block now that this thing is a 4-3. I take a lot of damage, so I think this game might be... It's gonna be difficult, but I will also get the Malcolm, unless they get them... Well, no, I'm not gonna block. This has, you know, menace. I can't block it with just one, so... I take this. They have, you know, 2 treasures here left. I will get to peek their hand, though. And I get to cast what kind of a spell for free? I mean, this might die now. Yeah, they have one of the lightning bolts. Yeah, okay, so I can cast a discarded card even regardless of how much it costs. Well, no such luck. And now this will be quite nasty because they got the early board presence there with hasters and that extra treasures. And the Judith now also being quite nasty. I think I might have to, in fact, turn the Iron Crack into a equipment. Yeah, I won't be using the mana anymore. I feel like with the Hadron Archive I have enough mana. So this is what they have. Okay, well this is really bad news for me. Even just the Bastion of Remembrance is bad news. I guess I can kill it because I have a Sun's Intervention. So yeah, I'm not gonna let them keep. Do I have to let them keep the Sealed Red for now? Goldspan Dragon goes away. Yeah, I do think that... Cancel. Draw a card. I'm just thinking about sideboarding. Should I put my Wrath effects in? I don't know what the white is for in their deck, by the way. This seems to be a black-red deck. Okay, well that is a good one. But I'm losing to Judith, and I'm losing to Sealed Red, and I'm losing to the Bastion. Yeah, this is nasty, and I did not get another white source either. So I have to, of course, bounce the Judith now with the Reflector Mage. I think that's like a... Because they can't cast that on the next turn then. So I get rid of that for now. But I also think I will be in a bit of a trouble here. I'm definitely not attacking here. I need the click to crew some things. And yes, I could equip it, but then I can't draw a card, so... Okay, now they can play a Sealed Red. Oh, then I would have to actually... If I want to draw a card, I would need to do it before it resolves, but then I cannot block with the Bankbuster. Well, I'm not going to draw with it. On the other hand, I can just block the Disciple. Okay, I'm actually gonna draw with it. Change of plans. Maybe this is something good I can cast. No, there is that. But yeah, if they attack with both, then I will just block the Disciple with the click. Not much else to do about it. But of course, this is... Do I actually need to block this Facebreaker instead? I don't even know. I don't think there's a chance for me in this game. I think the stuff I had going on was too slow after all when they had these hasters and the Judith. The intervention I can do on the next turn, but it doesn't actually help too much. Well, let's take fewer damage here. Nothing I can do about the Sheoldred right now. Yeah, that's not gonna help. The Sheoldred is just nasty. So I can do this and then have 3 mana left over. I can actually do it the other way around. Yeah, I think given what they have, I don't have a chance. But this is what I have to do. There's no, like, other way here. I have to get rid of the Sheoldred for now. Of course, it will come back very soon. But maybe I will... I mean, this will give me 3 life. I have a 5-5 now here waiting. I'm almost regretting that I made this into an equipment, but I thought I might need it to win quickly here, because I will lose any kind of a game that is gonna take a lot of time. So there's a Judith in here. They can also play the Bastion of Remembrance here, which is very sad. So, am I gonna just die immediately? Creature you control dies, I'll lose a life point. I guess I don't quite die. I will lose my Teferi here, but there's nothing that's gonna help. I will go to 2. Okay, they actually... yeah. And then ping Teferi. They could ping me too, you know. Not a bad idea when they have the Bastion here. They don't know I can actually deal with it with the intervention. So if they choose to not kill Teferi, I think that is better for me. Because with Teferi up, I can of course climb back into this game. So now this can kill an artifact. Yeah, I can do a lot of things with this now. And I don't need to do this. Well, yes, I don't want them to use the treasure token for mana. So I'm gonna actually main phase this. Yep. Knights, seek a thing, destroy artifact, and some. Okay, so I get the entire effect here. Maybe there is a chance. I do have also have the whole of the Storm Giant here. And now I can... the 6-6 has summoning sickness, the 5-5 does not. So I think I'm gonna use this 4 mana. Oh, I have only 3, yeah, maybe... okay, I'm gonna regret this. Making this into a... thing. I'm just thinking about their extinction event, but it's not gonna be that amazing. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna have to pressure them, I believe. It's a bit same that... yeah, that only works for non-tokens, by the way. Yeah, it's a bit shame that I can't actually now draw the card or make this into a creature because I turned this, but I just felt like I didn't need the extra mana there. Okay, what are they gonna choose? Even? Yeah, I don't think that's... now they have Sheoldred coming up, but I have a huge, massive attack coming up too. So... one, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 9 mana. I can X equals 7 here, but I think I should X equals 5 instead, so I can make the 6/6 into a thing. So this is X equals 5, that's 2, 3. Yeah, this is gonna be good. And now, do I want to actually flip the discard emblem knights? I'm gonna do this first. And then I'm going to also maybe crew this. Yeah, I have to do something here. I'm not sure if this is the absolute best thing to do, but I'm gonna attack with this on here and these go to face. So I will get this thing unless they jump block. And if I attack with everything, then they of course wouldn't jump block, and then I kind of lose the damage I can deal to face. So I think this is the best, because I mean the invasion flip is gonna be valuable. So now I think I'm not dying to the Shieldred. And if they play Shieldred, they don't have mana for much else. And of course my attack will be lethal. I have another 7/7 here coming up. I can play the Blades. I actually have the whole of the Storm Giants. I can make the Chrome Host thing into 5 power flyer. Deals each damage, 2 damage to each creature, planeswalker, and battle. Well, at least it deals to the battle too, but yeah, I can't save my tokens. I mean, that's not actually gonna help them. I am still going to win here because they have to. Okay, I will win here. It's very simple now. I think I'll just do the simplest way, which is that I can just bounce that thing also. I mean, this is gonna be activated for 2 mana. And then I can also just activate. Yeah, let's do this. This is cool. 1, 2, 3, yep. This is cool. I could have done many things, but phew. Alright, so the one critical turn when I was able to play my Teferi and, you know, get rid of their Shieldred for a while. I was able to do all this great stuff in the meanwhile. And of course the Chrome Host Seedshark was again pretty strong. Well, okay, this is actually easy keep because I do have the 2 mana rock, and then this can get me a plains, and then I have mana for this. So despite this hand having only 2 lands, assuming they don't, you know, spell pierce the Iron Crack, and then I mean that would still mean that I would need to not draw any lands. So I guess, yeah, if they counterspell this thing and I don't draw a land, or they kill this with like an upgrade and I don't draw a land. Well, I didn't draw a land. Let's see if this is gonna work now. Don't like the sign of that. Okay, good. Now I'm in a fine shape. So now the chapter 2 says, may discard a card when you do return target permanent card with. Yeah, so I can discard the Rona and it, you know, enters tapped. So I don't have to use mana for it. That's nice. Brainstorm end step. Sure. They have the loot. I guess they wanted to, because well, it takes some time because they have to use 3 mana to put Lutri in their hand, but I guess they will have a spell to copy later in the game with it. Okay, they have Iconoclast. And again, yeah, I'm gonna discard this and then Return target permanent card with mana. Well, yeah, this is exactly how it works. And decline this, not make an equipment there. I think this is pretty easy turn. I'm gonna play Hadron Archive and a Blade Splicer. Alright. This is good. This becomes a 3-4. I get these, you know, the same person but different cards, so I can have them at the same time on the battlefield. And I can make this into a Rona. 5/5 trample. When a source deals damage to this thing, that source's controller exiles a card from their hand at random. If it's a land card, I can put it on the battlefield. Otherwise, I might. Yeah, this has a pretty nice, and it has trample too. So that actually means I will be able to just get rid of the Naset too. 1, 2, 3. I have 7 mana. 5 to do this. I have 2 mana left over, which sadly means I don't have. I mean, they have 1 mana. If they have a Swords to Plowshares, that would be annoying. But if they don't, I wanna try this. Transform it like that. And then I can choose attacks. And here, Trample will deal with it anyway. I can use this to attack phase. So I lost some tempo now if they kill this, but at least I got rid of the Naset, so they don't get another card from it. And I have still a pretty nice board here, and these Planeswalkers are waiting to be utilized. That's not scary. So I'm gonna play the Seedshark now pre-combat just in case if I, you know, need to play the Wandering Emperor, I will get my thing there. But there's no reason not to do this attack. Jump there. And what else? Okay, they do that. They're gonna bounce around, I'm sure. So this is gonna return this thing in my hand, and because they did bargain it, it will cost 4 now. Sure. That's that then. They will still take 3 here, and I have my Wandering Emperor coming up. They are not going to attack though, unless they kill the Seedshark, so I might not get any great value from the Emperor right now. But I kind of want my 4/4 incubator token from this thing. Electrolyze on there. That's fine for now. They get the Surveil. If they have a 2 damage effect on it, then I can actually save it with the counter. Well, that's exactly what they have. Let them Surveil first. So now this says that maybe my face blocks that. You get the one-time boon with when you cast an instant or sorcery spell, exile the top 3 cards of your library. You may play one of those cards, but you have to pay the mana cost for it. Anyway, it's gonna be taken. That's gonna take 2 now. So let's make it actually survive. So it won't. It not only got this, but it also ate 2 of their spells. Now this was a cantrip, but anyway, this is a really good situation to be in right now. Okay, my board presence is pretty massive. I can make a 4/4 here. Well, and there's a reset button. But I think before doing that, I will just I'm gonna just make this into a 4/4, and who's gonna pick? something. I guess they are gonna jump block most of the stuff in here. So it's actually better to just... I could make a 2-2, but I like to increase loyalty on this thing. Let's make this guy a slightly bigger one. And then I'll just attack and see what is their choice to block. I know if I attack with the shark, they can, attack with the Thalian. Maybe with this thing too. Maybe it's better to leave it to block. Alright, let's do that. I can actually play the Eternal Wanderer here too. I can make another 3-3 by plussing this. Yeah, okay. Let's just do this now. I don't actually have double blue for the Sphinx's Rebel right now. So let's do this. Return that card to the battlefield under its own encounters at the beginning of that player's next. Okay, so I'm gonna get the Blade Splicer. Flipped like this. Yeah, they need like something. Something very good. I have another 6-6 here. Yeah, the Seedshark is quite the card. Siphon, okay, they can get a Siphoner or they can get a spell back. Doesn't really matter to me. They had to use their only blue mana for that. So they can electrostatic blast something, which I don't actually really care about. They have the other blast effect here, but they will get to exile top 3. They have to choose which one of them they cast. Okay, so that's gonna show them a prismatic command. But it's only one of them. They can cast or play a land. So I don't think killing one of my 4/4s is gonna really help them. They can use the Grim Lava Monster now, of course, for it, but it's... And now this has to attack, by the way, and I have a 3/5 to block with. So they maybe... They actually were supposed to attack with their Dragon Rage Channeler and then finish off the Seedshark, and I probably would have even blocked in that case. Okay, well that was... Okay, let's not watch that thing. That was a matchup where I might want to have a Wrath of God. But I'm not sure. I'm on the play. Oh, sorry, on the draw, most likely here. So if I'm not playing the I can choose the expertise to be a Wrath of God instead, and I kind of want to consider having this as a 3 mana thing. This can even be a land if you really need another land. Any permanent, mine or theirs. I'm just doing it for fun. I don't think it's that good. But it does give you the best thing on the battlefield. Or best thing for you. For 3 mana. But I don't know what to cut. I guess the Vendilion Click isn't so great when they have an Electrolyze. Kind of a free kill. So let's not do that. Let's play the Metamorph. Any other vulnerable cards? There's the 2-1, but I think the Malcolm is just slightly too good. But let's say if I don't have the Malcolm, what would I play instead? The Sentinel gets killed so easily, I don't think that's gonna be so good. Multiple choice? I don't think so. Seal Away, Sun Titan. But, I mean, I have expensive things. Let's put these things in here in the 6-drop when they start becoming quite good. So I don't necessarily want to have another 6-drop in here. Okay, I'll just have it like this. They mulliganed. Now I'm again having this kind of hand. This time I don't have such a great start here, but I have the Bankbuster and I have the Archive. I'm on the draw. The Invasion and the Revelation aren't gonna be that good that early, but I guess I can try with the Bankbuster because unless they get their Iconoclast on turn 2, I don't know if they can have a fast start. Of course, if they do, I will be in somewhat trouble. Okay, that's that. Okay, I got my... Look at this. White mana. Natural drawn. Monastery Mentor. Okay, I might need my rat effect in here, but in the meanwhile I'll attack for 2 here. Play this tapped. I have the Bankbuster here. I have both Wrath of God and Sunfall in the deck, and of course there's the 6 mana Wandering Emperor. What's the I don't even recall its name, but it has a kind of a rat effect too. Okay, they kill that thing. Not really a big deal. But in order to survive, I might need to find a way to kill their stuff, because they will have more of these. Anyway, I'm gonna play the Hedron Archive. That means I can't have the Spell Thief up, but this Archive is so good because it allows me to, you know, draw cards with the Bankbuster, and of course it's gonna be good with both of my Expels in here. You know, I might even use the Invasion of New Phyrexia to overwhelm the Mentor, but I would rather get one of my 3 Rat effects in the deck to clear the board. Now they will get this thing flipped, of course, and they will get their own value, but if I'm faster at generating value... Oh, they face that thing. They are gonna aggressively deal damage to me. Lightning Bolt to face. Okay. This is gonna gain me a bunch of life. Well, there is it. There is one. Now they could have a counterspell, of course. So, how to do it? My total mana here is 7 right now. So, I can play this and then post combat. Well, I don't need to even play the... Yeah, let's just do this and then whether it resolves or not. I'll just draw another card. Okay, that worked. Well, that helps me, of course, a lot. So now I can just get another card out of the Bankbuster, and then it's gonna be close to... close to getting the friend, but let's see, they are maybe trying to... Okay, so they are getting back a Lightning Bolt, right? What else do they have? Electrolyze. They choose Lightning Bolt. Okay. Well, I have the Sphinx's Rev here. That is gonna give me a lot of life. Well, some number of life. They can't actually attack with the Siphoner, or they can, but then they have to bolt my 3/3. So they have an upgrade for that. So now I have a decision to make. I guess they bolt this thing anyway. I mean, I go to 7, then they bolt me, yeah. I'm gonna draw the card here. So now the thing is that they can actually put me to 1 by getting the Lutri to their hand and then copying the Lightning Bolt. Oh, but this is a really good spot to do, you know, this thing. Wow, what a draw. What a draw. So I can do this, gain life, kill this, but I actually... this is gonna... I'll let them maybe surveil once. Because 1, 2, 3, 4... I have 8 mana now, so I can do this and this activation. They do have a Hall of Storm Giants too. Now this won't flip because they have to have 7 or more cards, so I'm gonna let them surveil. They get a little bit of value, but I get the... I mean, I guess they could have a counter spell, that would be horrible. Okay, you know what? That's a big risk. They don't have an artifact, no. No artifact lands, no. Yeah, I'm not gonna let them have an counter spell. Yep. I'm not playing the Iron Crack, especially now that I have the Chrome Host Seedshark, which I can use to get 2-2 here. But yeah, the Hall of the Storm Giants, if they... Actually, I can triple block it. It's a 7/7. And if they use it, that's all their mana. So I can triple block and kill it. I don't just have to jump block it. So let's just do this now, let them... I mean, they can use their Lightning Bolt twice with the Lutri, which is gonna happen anyway. And I'll just block the Siphoner here, and I'll still be at 10 because they're gonna target the other token rather than me with the second copy. That is a knight, which can be relevant for this thing. It doesn't have vigilance though. Yep. Can neutralize cycle. Alright, sure. Land. Seedshark. And I do think I'm going to I could make 4 tokens right now. Or I can do, because they are gonna activate the Hall of Storm Giants. I think it's better to get 4 tokens right now. That also gives me a very big, you know, 6/6 basically. And now the Storm Giant, I mean, they actually need an untapped land for this, but I'm not gonna gamble on them not having it. So I still have use for my mana. Sphinx's Rev, the Iron Crack. This will give me some kind of a spell. It can be my own spell too. I can potentially flip this thing. Quinteros can't. Okay, so that's their last card remaining. They're gonna discover into a Brainstorm. And that's gonna drain me. But of course I can attack into the Quinteros right now. They will have 1 card left in their hand and 2 mana. All colors. Do we have time? 21 minutes? Yeah, no problem with the time. Okay, this of course can be killed by the Seedshark unless the 1 card can deal with the Seedshark. Let's see if they let me untap with it though, because I can just play the Iron Crack first. To get more value out of it. And then I'm of course going to activate this thing. And I'm going to go with this in here, this in here, and I guess these 4 go to face. I don't need the Teferi right now. These things have vigilance. And I have the Sphinx's Rev here. I think they're gonna jump block the 6/6, which is totally fine for me. The backside Teferi is nice, definitely, but I'm not gonna waste all this. I mean, this is 8 damage I can deal to them by attacking with these tokens. If I wanted to make sure this invasion goes away, I would have had to have 3 of these 2/2s to actually attack the, and they choose that trade anyway. So I get to now cast. By the way, this will trigger the Chrome Host Seedshark. Seedshark, it's a non-creature spell, which is nice. So draw 2, discard. I'm not gonna need that emblem. Shuffle target non-land permanent and opponent. Now there's no non-land permanent, so I guess I'm gonna just get an emblem, and then I will of course have probably Sphinx's Rev for 4 is going to be enough. I don't need to be greedy. Which will give me, you know, a 7/7 incubator. The Seedshark, that is an actual first pickable card in this cube. That is such a crazy amount of value you can get from this one thing. They need a farewell, which is in the cube, I think. But even then I have the Sphinx's Rev to refill. Okay, let's go. X equals 4. 4 cards for life and no threat of getting decked. And that's a lot of good things, I would say so. So I'm gonna emblem up twice. They are, by the way, playing with full control or something. Because I do of course have a lethal attack when I activate all my little incubators here. I don't have a counterspell. This is not a counterspell. It only copies a spell that's on the stack, so that you get to that in your hand. So they are doing something in my upkeep. I wonder what that's gonna be. Magma Opus. So deal 4 damage to. So they deal damage to the fairy. Okay. And 2 to me, right? They tap the 7/7 and the 6/6 makes sense. And then they get a 4/4 and they draw 2 cards. Now, I kind of want to have that for myself. Am I gonna win here regardless? I'd have to make sure that I don't do any nonsense in here. I think I wanna have it. Because the spell that goes to your hand becomes a mana of any type can be spent to cast it. So now this is going to resolve. Nothing I can do about it. Nothing I can do about it. And now that they have a 4/4, I don't. No, I do have mana to cast this thing, so it's game over. Because now I can do this. Damage, yeah, I will deal damage there and then tap this thing. They take 4 attack for 1,000,000. Well, it's not 1,000,000 actually, but you know, they go to 10 and I will attack for 11. I wouldn't have had mana to make these things, but I tap this thing so this can't block. 9 plus 2 is 12, they take 4. 9 plus 2 is 11 and they take 4 to go to 10 and then the 11 damage will be enough. Okay. I have a turn 3 Reflector Mage. I'm on the draw this time, but the mana is good and this Restore Angel is so good with the Mage and the Throne Guard that I'm gonna keep it. And I hope they don't have a fast start and then they are like a mono red. Okay, they are not. This is the one. Okay, we'll always enter untapped. So I don't need to decide. I think it's gonna be white because I have 2 islands in here. Okay, no plays from them yet. Okay, well that is... seems like multicolor something. It's possible this doesn't have a target. It only targets creatures. But if they would be playing a creature on turn 3 and I bounce it, then they play some creature on turn 4 and so on. But well, that wasn't going to happen. Sadly, I actually think this is the play now because I have the Resto Angel to reset it and I can play this and all this. There's no way it makes sense to not do anything this turn, and I'm not gonna play this with x equals 1. So since they didn't play a creature, I play my Reflector Mage. I wouldn't do it if I didn't have a Resto Angel, because if they now tap out for a creature, which they probably don't, then I could use the Resto Angel to good value. But I also have the Throne Guard. This will get both spells and permanents. Okay, they have a Metamorph, so they will copy that so that I can't cast my Reflector Mage. Alright, I think it's something I can live with. So this will be producing white. And here it's better to just play the Archive now. There's no rush. They have a 2-3. I have a lot of mana. So, of course, counter spells are a thing. So am I supposed to... No, I'm not gonna bounce the Reflector Mage. That makes like a very little sense. I think I'm just playing the tap land for now. I'm having mana up for the Throne Guard. Target non-land permanent. So they're gonna bounce my Hedron Archive. I think they can do that again. I'm not gonna bargain it, of course. Mostly because I want to have the Throne Guard or something on the battlefield that allows me to use the Restoration Angel for a good effect. Okay, now it's time to use the Wanderer here. And I'm gonna say that they will have a 2-3 remaining, while I have a 2-1, although that actually will make me lose the Wanderer. So I think there's a better play to be made. So this says, when this becomes a target of spell or ability, it's kind of like a ward, but not. There's like a very technical rules difference why it's not. I have to pay 2 extra. Yeah, so the problem is if I use the -4 here, yes, I will get rid of the Titan, but then I would have to jump block the mage, which is not nice. So I would rather actually just Reflector Mage that thing and then pay the extra 2. They can't cast it on their next turn. I'll try to build some kind of a board presence. I don't know how this is gonna actually end. We have this tempo plays on both sides, but as long as I don't find my Sunfall. Well, yeah, I guess now that I have a Reflector Mage here, I can make this guy remain. And it's not the end of the world to lose this if you get a good Frat effect, but of course a good Frat effect is not just to kill a Frost Titan. So I'm not gonna waste it for that. But you can't really leave this, roaming either. Okay, they wanted to get rid of my Hedron Archive for now. Well, and now they have this memory, of course, which is something I am going to bounce with the Throne Guard using Resto Angel. If they try to do that. I don't know if they even want to do it, which costs 6 mana. Yeah, they're gonna play this thing again. So maybe I'm gonna bounce the Frost Titan. If I let that enter, because I can bounce the spell too. I can bounce the spell too, and then I don't get this trigger. They can tap something from me. It won't untap. Yeah, I guess I prefer that. That they don't get the tapping happen. And now what I can do, I don't see any, I don't see any rat effect from there. But, I mean, they could have like one, but I'm gonna go for this now. X equals 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And there's a sensor. I guess I could have played around the sensor, but I did not. Well, that happened. That indeed happened. Well, it's time to trade with the Frost Titan here. Using the whole of the Storm Giants. Can I even do this? I think I can. It costs 6 other mana. I will be able to tap 6. Yeah. Alright. I don't mind trading the hall with the Titan. They can, jump block with the mage, but it seems it's not gonna make that much sense. Now, if they are gonna tap out for the memory without having a Narset, I don't mind losing the Eternal Wanderer. I will have all this mana with my 7 fresh cards. So I'm not worried about that happening. Yeah, if I had one viewer X, I would have a lot of tokens and a nice battle. But of course, I mean, if I was playing around a counterspell, I was gonna play around an actual negate or counterspell or whatever. The sensor, didn't just come to my mind. I don't think it's a move I was supposed to make necessarily. Okay, they got a decent answer there. I guess. Now this is still the surgical metamorph, so I don't want to, actually keep it back to them. Because I can have the +1 here too, of course. Now this thing can bounce a thing. Guess I'll first see what they try to do. They can only bounce an opponent's thing with that. Alright. So that's 8 mana. If I play the Wanderer now... Well, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. I think I'm going to just get a double striker here. Okay, well, let's not do anything if that. They keep having their counter spells. They are countering my big impact cards, but of course they are losing their race in the air right now. And if they... Okay, now they're checking their graveyard, so we'll see what happens. They have this flash, bounce thing here. Non-land permanent and opponent controls. So I can't go with an all-out attack with this. They would have to tap out to something weird. Well, that's definitely not tapping out. That's only using 1 mana to draw 3. I mean, the fact they countered both the Invasion and the Eternal Wanderer, that's actually, with the card draw they have, that's gonna start to look like so that they are in a good shape. This thing taps for blue, so they still have the Nightclub bouncer. So I can't go for bounce these and then I win, because that's not what would happen. Okay, now they're gonna do that. So maybe on the next turn. And now there's a good question. Am I supposed to... They might have another counter spell, so I'm actually going to do this, and then am I gonna even bounce anything? Because I don't want to give them the ETB on any of this stuff, so let's let's decline this. And now see what else they might be having. I need my Sphinx's Revelation now, and I hope they don't have another counter spell for that. Yeah, it's gonna hurt now that the Censor got this thing, because I didn't expect this to also get countered. And they were at such a low card count at that point, but then they had the Treasure Cruise to refill. It was the Treasure Cruiser that actually, made it seem bad for me. And now they just keep getting more things. Now they are at 13 cards, but well, that thing is gonna win them the game. Alright. So they finally tapped out, but sadly they also, because I mean I can have a 5-point attack here because I can bounce these things. But they got the 7 life, so I mean they're gonna use this and then they're gonna win, but I suppose I can try this. I will turn that into... I was supposed to do that pre-combat, wasn't I? Yes, I was a fool. I was a fool. Because I could have equipped this and attack for 3 extra. But they don't have mana to both do the Deluge and the second sun thing, but I will need to win on this turn. That's the thing. I don't know if it was gonna matter that if I was equipped this, because I didn't have to, make this into a 5/5. I could have just played this, turn this into a creature, use 3 mana to equip there. But now that this is the case, I'm going to just... Well, I'm gonna lose here. I'm gonna lose here if they have any interaction. So I'm gonna hope that the Memory Deluge is the only thing they have. Bounce, bounce. Oh, actually, I wasn't supposed to equip there. Why did I make such a mistake? I needed to equip either of these, either the Trampler or the Flyer, because they can actually... Yeah, they have enough mana for that. Oh my. I actually made a mistake. Because they can block this and this is 8 damage only. I thought it's gonna be lethal no matter how I attack, but I can't bounce this because then they can bounce my attacker. Well, I'm going to sideboard out the expertise anyway, so I might as well show it. Maybe they have a counter spell and then I don't have to worry about it. Okay, they did have the actual counter spell. So now I have no chance. Because they're gonna get the approach. with the deluge. Actually, it's... yeah, they're gonna look at top 7 and then they will win with the approach. That's not gonna be great for me. This barely matters. I get those things, but it doesn't matter. I mean, how can it matter? I guess I'll see. I get both of those. So exiles a card. Both will get exiled unless they are castable instants. But they need to cast this thing for 7. So I guess if this... I guess if these cards actually allow me to win here, I don't know. Something is gonna happen right now there. Dig through time? It's a dig through time. No, it's a deluge. Okay, they want to... Now I don't understand. I mean, I can actually hit the approach of the second sun now too, because if they don't get the second... Okay, I don't know what happens now. But they should have the second sun in their hand, and there's a 50-50 chance I get to cast it myself. Land. Yes, I will put that on the battlefield, and then only... So actually the 50-50 did not work. Because now they're gonna have the approach, right? Well, they will win with it, they should cast it, I am tapped out. Yeah, I got really bad cards from the random effects, but I mean... Just cast the approach, I mean, did they not cast it? Did they put it on the bottom of the deck somehow, and then Snapcaster is going to get a treasure cruise, and it's... okay, well, we'll see. Let them do their thing. They're gonna draw 3, there's gonna be this approach, I don't know if it's... Well, soon I will see what happens. I thought I was losing to the approach regardless, but did this Rona do something that made the opponent make a mistake, or maybe I didn't take something into account? They can just have a rat effect, of course, and then draw the approach, because I think they have the approach somewhere in there. Okay. Well, there's a Vendilion click, which will help me a little bit. Okay. So Snappy. This is an equipment, right? I'm gonna at least play the Vendilion click. But I'm gonna attack for at least maybe with 4 mana. I'm not gonna bounce this guy. So in there, I will put a stop to their upkeep and draw. I'll let them draw a card, and then I see if they have the approach in their hand or not. And hope they don't have yet another counterspell. They have the fairy, which says draw a card. And they have mana to do it. I guess I'm gonna decline here. They actually don't kill the... Yeah, I'm gonna decline. Sadly, they have the card draw, so... If this card... No, sorry, they already had the... I mean, they had the draw step, but I mean, they have to play the fairy and draw a card, and that's gonna be an approach. A weird game. I don't know. I think they weren't supposed to play the Memorable Deluge flashback on the turn when they did. But I guess they finally get their win with the approach, if that happens to be there. It's fine. I mean, this was a fun deck. Fun game, I mean. Okay, it's not the approach, so it's still in the bottom 4 somehow. What did they... Why? The one turn when they flashbacked The memory deluge in response to my triggers from the Rona the Obliterator. Because they had 2 cards in their hand at that point. So they didn't want me to get those 2 cards. They flashbacked it, but then they couldn't really take the approach because then this was a 50-50 chance to for me to get it. I don't know what happened there. But anyway, I won the game 1 and yeah, I can't see what happens there. So I guess I'm gonna play the Metamorph just like they are. I'm not gonna play my own Barrow's Expertise. I will be on the draw, so this will be a 3 mana spell. Esper Sentinel is gonna be a good one here. Do I need some late game power like a Ugin here? Planeswalker can be useful here. Sunfall, probably not so. Let's put maybe the Ugin and figure out on some kind of a cut here. Well, the Reflector Mage didn't seem to be doing much. Do I want to play a Hangback Walker? Maybe not. I think I will have it like this. Let's go. I am on the draw. I will have a Malcolm into Spell Thief and maybe the Fairy. That's nice. Okay, I'm getting here a loot apparently. And do I want to leave mana for the Spell Thief? I'm gonna play the Ironcrag and Rona. And I'm not gonna make this into a equipment because you know it loses the mana ability when you turn it into an equipment. So I don't think I need to loot with the Rona right now, and I'm not gonna activate it. I would have the mana for it, but it's too risky. I would rather just attack for 3 and loot. Okay, out of these, I'm gonna play the Vendilion Clique on this turn cycle. Do I need the invasion necessarily? I don't need the invasion. Are they lacking like some kind of white mana? Just a deluge. So do I want to copy that thing? Not necessarily. Not what I need. Sure, I don't need to copy that one either. Okay, so let's take a peek. So maybe my Teferi will be good to go. So negate. Okay, so no Teferi. There's also dismiss, for which they don't have mana. They have a Chandra there, a Maze Mind's Tome. Alright, so that does mean I can make this into a big thing. They have nothing for that. I have the mana for it. I can attack for what, 10? They actually can't have anything for my turn now because I'm not gonna play into the negate. So I'm not gonna give them any other additional draw. This can deal 3 damage to non-elementals, X to 1 thing. They can do the emblem thing. I don't care about if they tap out for that. So decline, they can keep that. And now I'm not going to use this ability because I'm going to need my mana here. I'm not going to loot here though. Ditching this. Let's loot. You never know if it's going to be something better. I don't think I need Ugin. I have a Teferi. If I can resolve Teferi, that's going to be good enough. Right. So now we'll just... this is going to say blue. This is going to be transformed. And this is gonna be close to very good stuff. I already played the land, so I'll just do this. And they are facing some issues. This Chandra Awakened Inferno won't be their solution here. So that's just something they cannot play. But do they have anything else? Because I know what's in their hand, and these counter spells don't do anything against resolved creatures. So, but if they do the -3 here, yeah, they will get rid of the click and this pirate, but of course this will survive, and I even get the trigger, but it doesn't matter because it will be a 5 power against their 5 life. So that's that. Okay, that was a good way to finish the cube drafts, and it actually went quite well. My 4 recorded cube drafts were 3 3-0s and 1 2-1. I had some 1-2s in the unrecorded ones, but also 3-0s, so it's not... I didn't get to record only the ones where I did well. Yeah, I actually got one game when I cast and resolved the Teferi, but that was very important because that was the one where I was able to get rid of the Shieldred for a while. And other than that, yeah, pretty nice deck. I would say I would have wanted to have some better 2-drops than a Captain Eberhard, but in the end things worked fine, and I think every card in the main deck, maybe except for the Eberhard, was doing some work. The expertise, it's a little bit of it's not good against the kind of control decks I played, but there's some red-green ramp deck or something like that, and this is just insanely good tempo against such decks. So it's a really nice main deck card, I think. But yeah, that was it. The final video before the next set releases, and I will try to make, hopefully on Wednesday and latest on Thursday, my first Murders at Karlov Manor draft video on the channel, so I will hope to see you then, of course, and thank you for watching. Bye bye.